And welcome back to Voice of the Cape Newsbeat. I'm Shafiq Morton, 91.3. Where else in the universe? Today we're talking the Middle Beast Tour 2025. It's brought to you by Blue Blood in association with the Gift of the Givers Foundation. And to quickly give you some dates before we introduce the guests, 7th of February in Durban, 8th of February, Cape Town, 2 shows, 9th of February, Johannesburg, Empress Palace, 1 show. Bookings, Spa, Payzone, and Ticket Pro. Of course, I'm talking about our special guest, Doctor in brackets, Bassem Youssef, satirist, comedian, performer, and man of the world. Bassem Youssef, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the airwaves of Voice of the Cape.
And alaikum assalam, Shafiq. It's so nice to be talking to you, and I can't wait to come to Cape Town. It's been on my bucket list for years.
All right. Although it's a fleeting, it's a flying visit, but I know once you've got the taste, you will most definitely be coming back. But let's quickly get to the business at hand and to give our listeners just something of an idea of what makes a Bassem Youssef tick before we get into the mechanics of the show. You are now described as an Egyptian American, and if one looks at your profile, we learn that you made a big name for yourself with your TV show, the first online show to go to mainstream TV, Burn a Meg, if I get it correctly, 30 million viewers. How did all of that start when your career began as a surgeon?
Well, all you need to do is just like hate your career as a surgeon, because I wasn't very happy in my career as a surgeon. I was a heart surgeon for quite some time. I spent 19 years in medical school and working 7 years of medical school, 12 years operating as a cardiothoracic surgeon, and I hated every second of it. I hated every second of it. So the revolution happened, the Arab Spring 2011. And I did a few videos satirizing this state-run media, and it went viral. And then I found myself signing my first ever TV show, and it went for 3.5 years until I got canceled and ejected from my country. And I had to start like a whole new career in the United States doing stand-up comedy in my second language, English. And it seems that finally that brought me to South Africa, Cape Town. You know what? I'm not just like excited about Cape Town. I'm excited that after I finish my show in Cape Town, I'm gonna come back to Sharks Bay and I'm gonna do kite surfing, because I know that Cape Town has some of the best spots of kite surfing in the world. So I'm going to South Africa not just for the show. I'm going for kite surfing, baby.
All right, yes. Ironically, I am a surfer. I don't do kite surfing, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Big Bay in Bloberg, Table View, and kite surfing with the background of that mountain as you fly through the air. I can guarantee you it's going to be worth it. We just have to get the wind to cooperate, which it normally does at Cape Town at this time of the year. But before we drown ourselves in the ocean, I presume then that President Sisi is not a fan of yours.
I don't think that many of the regimes in the world are not a fan of mine. I mean, you know, when you leave the Middle East, you think that authority don't like you because of, you know, you say things that they don't like. But when you go out and you deal with the Western world, you find out that they're not fans of democracy or freedom either. It's just like it's a facade. I mean, I think that the difference between Arab countries who are being described as third world countries and, you know, dictatorships, I think you have a different kind of dictatorships in the West.
Absolutely.
It's hidden. It's beautified. You have all of these layers of lies that underneath it all, you find out it's the same thing. They just use different tools. But at the end of the day, the whole idea of a dictatorship is they would do whatever they want. The only difference is that they let you speak. But at the end of the day, they have a way to come back at you, to hurt you. They have a way to impose their own tyranny, but in a very nice and polished and elegant way.
Yeah, I suppose in the West, the knife goes in with a smile, and other parts of the world, it doesn't. not very much of a subtle difference. The other thing which comes through profoundly in your work, would you agree that most of the world simply doesn't understand the Arab world at all? It doesn't understand that the Arab world is not necessarily third world at all. Syrian dentists, for example, are far better than South African ones, just as an anecdotal example. What's your feeling on that?
Well, I mean, third world countries, West, East, Middle East. This is a way to put people in boxes because it's very easy to deal with the masses if you give them preconceived notions about what parts of the world they deal with. So, like example of what happened in Palestine, because of years and years and years of putting a certain image into the heads of the audience, it is easier for them to accept to blow out the whole region, kill all so many peoples because they are less humans. Call it bad third world, call them backwards, call them terrorists, call them human animals. These are all just like terminologies in order to put people in boxes and do whatever they want in these boxes.
How are you able to do comedy in English, which is your second language? Because Arabic, and I don't have to tell you this, is a fine language. I mean, Arabic has so many subtleties and levels to it, and here you are doing comedy in English. I mean, sometimes the metaphors can be slightly different. How did you manage to bridge that particular divide?
It came in with a lot of hurt and a lot of very bad nights and a lot of nights that I went back home crying, thinking that maybe I'm in the wrong career. But let me tell you something. Right now, you're speaking to me. I'm in Europe. I'm having like a whole tour in Arabic to the Arabs in Europe. I did the same tour in English. And let me tell you, and this will come as a surprise to so many people, for me, stand-up comedy in English is far easier than doing stand-up comedy in Arabic. I'll tell you why. Because in English, even if it's your second language, even if it's your third language, it's the same language, same setup, punchline, same things. But in Arabic, you're dealing with 22 different dialects. The dialect in Morocco is different from the dialect in Egypt, the dialect in Saudi, different from the dialect in Tunisia. It's totally different. And with each dialect, it comes its nuances, little
Right.
ways to do humor. So when I go, I have people from 22 dialects, and I'm telling you, it's a mental game. I'm there, and I am more stressed on stage in Arabic, far more than I am in English.
Yeah, you raise a point because I can remember going to Morocco. I understand a little bit of Amir, and somebody spoke to me in Arabic, and I thought this person from was another planet because it was
Yes.
just so different. So I certainly can see that. So obviously, you must do it, I suppose, in Egyptian Amir, which most people seem to understand, but maybe not some people in North Africa. I don't know.
Especially when you are in Europe and the people who've been in Europe for quite some time, they are separated from that kind of culture. And also, even if you understand Ammiya, if you understand like Egyptian Arabic, the nuances, the slang, the humor, the punchline is a totally different. I always believe that humor and comedy is a third language. And with each dialect, it has its own references. So to do a show that everybody in the crowd understands you, it's so hard. I'm telling you, people from Morocco and Tunisia come back. We understood 50% of the show, but we had fun. It's like, okay, that's good enough.
Right. No, that's certainly an interesting one. Getting back to the comedy you're presenting at the moment, obviously, I'm not even going to talk about the Piers Morgan interview, which went ballistic, and everybody's seen the sound bites in that one. Have you found comedy an important space in that you are able to raise pertinent issues of the day and make people laugh about them, particularly Palestine and other issues that we have to deal with in terms of Islamophobia, racism, xenophobia, etc.?
Well, I mean, when I use comedy on these interviews, I don't use comedy to make people laugh. I just use comedy to just like hold a mirror to the West and show them how ridiculous they are, and all the facade that they've put for years about like how we are like the champions of human rights and the champions of democracy, the champions of freedom. It seems that it stops at a certain way. So a certain spot where beyond that, it's not really human rights anymore. It's what they want to be done, and all of these slogans of human rights and equality and freedom is just lies. So I just like use the comedy to just like look at them in the eyes. So, like, I see you. You're full of.
Indeed.
Excuse my French.
No, that's fine. That's an international language you just spoken there, definitely.
Yeah, and also French are full of bullshit, so that's why.
All right. Fortunately, French people don't listen to our radio station, and having said that, they're going to listen to it just because I said that they don't.
Yeah.
We'll deal
And
with that one.
if they do, I don't care because they know they're full of shit.
All right. Another thing, as we have to leave off things very, very soon, sometimes comedians will tell me, satirists, that it's actually a serious business, and that when you're actually being serious, people are laughing their heads off, yet when you try to be funny, they fall silent. Does that ever happen to you?
The whole idea about like doing comedy is not to come with the mood of like, hey, I'm funny and I'm gonna make you laugh, because that puts a defense mechanism to the audience anyways. I think a good comedy, because you can be silly and people will laugh. You can stand on your head, you can fall on your face and people will laugh. It's about the laughter that stays with you. When you talk about serious issues and then you pepper in comedy, it stays with the audience. For me, it's not about like doing a couple of punchlines and people laugh at the moment. It's like, what do they leave the theater with? Have they? If, I like to do comedy that leaves something with leave people with something to think of as they leave the theater. They had a good time in the theater, but it stays with them as they go. And I think when you are serious, it invites that kind of reaction in people's minds.
Final question. Laughter is therapeutic, isn't it?
Laughter is cathartic. I don't know if it's therapeutic, because if you say therapeutic, it means it can heal you. Maybe laughter can give you an outlet, gives you like a kind of a release. It's like you having like a bunch of gas in your stomach and you fart. So maybe this is what comedy does.
Right. Indeed, the catharsis. That's probably is a wiser and better word. Bassem Youssef, I know you have an extremely busy schedule where you are. Thank you for chatting to us, and of course, Bassem Youssef Middle Beast Tour 2025, 7th of February Durban, 8th of February Cape Town, 9th of February Johannesburg. Spa Play Zone and Ticket Pro is where you can book your tickets, and in Cape Town there are 2 shows, not one. Special demand. And Bassem Youssef, shukran, thanks for joining us. And the ocean awaits you in Cape Town.
I can't wait to kite surf in Sharks Bay, baby.
Enjoy it. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.